Alright, got 13mm deep, 3/8 drive, 6-inch 3/8 drive extension, and my 3/8 drive ratchet. Now I'm going to start off with the middle ones first. And that's all I'm doing. Watch the handle, I'm about to hit it. Just bring this down just till it barely stops. Go right across from it. Get the middle one over here. And once I get the middle ones in, then I can go to the ends. 1, 2, and let's get the other 2, and then let's get our torque wrench. We'll be right back. Alright, we got our torque wrench set to 18 foot-pounds. We're going to start off right on the center one. Okay, go to this one. What kind of bug is this? Alright, and then we're going to start from this one and go around and do the last 4. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, while we're over here, we got our connector in the back of the engine that's going to our coolant sensor down here. Let's get that connected. And up in the front, let's see here. We're gonna, you know, so this won't be in the way. We're gonna put our valve cover on before we get that on. So right now, let's clean up our valve covers and get ready to install them. We'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is our valve covers. Yeah, boy. All right, we already took the liberty of cleaning them up. You want to make sure inside the channel is nice and dry, because you're gonna set your gaskets in there. You don't want them to come out. Now, on your valve cover gaskets, they're going to be one side that has a little, Sylvia said don't call them dimples, because dimples go in. So,
ridges.
Who?
Ridges? A ridge.
No, I'm calling them a ridge.
You already having tabs?
Yeah, let's go with little tabs. Little tabs on the outside. That part goes into the valve cover, because what those do is hold that valve cover gasket in place. So, let's grab one. And you got to make sure these corners right here, make sure they are lined up with the corners, because each valve cover will have a little corner right there that sticks out. So let's put this one in there, and then you just want to line it up and just push it into that groove. No silicone, no nothing. Just go around. So what I like to do is get those 2 lined up, so that's so you know that's where your alignment. Then you can just go around and push that into place. Guys, do your favor, don't get no cheap gasket, because you get a cheap gasket, you're gonna push this into place and it's gonna pop right back out. Watch I turn this over and it pops right back out. Alright, so once you get it firmly pressed in, you want to test it by turning the valve cover over like that. And that one is in. Alright, let's get the second one set up and we'll be right back. Alright, now we're going to start off with the left side valve cover first. And the left side one is the one with the filler neck and the PCV valve. And you're going to have a hose coming from the intake going right here, this little elbow right here. Now you just can't just put it on yet, because those little corners right there, they set into the corners where the head meets the lower intake. So what you have to do is get you some gasket maker, and you gotta put some right between there on both sides. So that will squeeze that in place. So what do we? Alright, now get your valve cover. Carefully place it over. Lay it down. Get your 8mm deep socket, 3/8 drive. This will help you start the bolts off. And make sure they're all lined up. Take your bolts, put them in, turn them by a couple threads by hand. Make sure they are lined up. Okay. Alright, now when I tighten these up, I know a lot of times you're supposed to tighten things up crossways, but when it comes to something like this, I don't. The reason why is because this valve cover is set down over to the side. So let me, because I got the engine turned to the side now, let me turn this engine back to show you what I mean. Okay. So now, when this car is running, this oil is spraying all in here, and it's not gonna leak up here at the top because it's up in the air. It'll always leak down here. So what I like to do is first bring the bolts in, and I'm gonna tighten up the bottom ones first because I want the bottom ones to make sure it's firmly sealed before the top ones. So we're going to bring them down. Okay. And now we're going to tighten them up. And I'm not going to use no torque wrench or nothing. That's all you want to do is just bring it down till it stops, and just a little bit more. That's it. Let's get the other one. Till it stops, and just a little bit more. That's it. Alright, now we're going to do the top ones, and then we're going to do the other side. Now, when you finish this, you got your vacuum hose right here, the elbow. Just pop that onto place, and this one feels. See, that I'm not liking. Let me just tighten this one up real quick before I forget. Okay, this I'm not, because this could be a serious vacuum leak right here, and that would cause a PO 171 because this is bank 1 over here. Is it bank 1? Yeah, I think so. I don't know, or bank 2. So I'm not liking that too much. So what I might do here, and what you might want to do as well, is actually either replace this or get a clamp or a tie strap. A tie strap would look even better because that fits through there. Get a tie strap and make that tight. Alright, so let's get that done and then put the other valve cover on, and we'll be right back. Alright, we want the right side. We got our other valve cover on, and this air tube will swing around, and it goes just like that. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we got our little harness coming out of here. This connector goes to our map sensor. Let's plug that up. Alright, next we're going to do, we got this post right here. Now, to tighten up this bolt, I did have to take this back out and tighten it up. And now we can put it back in. And now we can also tighten that back up. And we use some vice grips to loosen it up, to take it out. So let's get some vice grips. Tighten that back up. Okay, you can use a socket. I don't know what size that is. A small socket. Alright, now we got that. The next thing we're going to do is take off the two 13mm nuts and the two 10mm bolts up here. This is why I like putting bolts back, because the next thing we got is our ignition coil. So you're going to place the ignition coil up like that, and it sets on these two studs right here. Just like that. Let's put these bolts in place and get ready to tighten them up. Be right back. Alright guys, I got two sockets, a 10mm deep and a 13mm deep, and I got it on my cordless impact. We're going to tighten up the two nuts right here first, and then switch over to the 10mm and tighten up those two. Now we do got our coolant pipe that goes around here, but it does mount up to the throttle body, and we took our throttle body off because the chain went around there or something, so I didn't want to, so we're going to leave that off. So when we're ready, let me make sure that this is going around to the right spot. Yeah, it will. Okay, it goes onto that nut over there. Everything we'll be good. So we'll leave it alone. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is let's bring our, we got our ignition wires right here. Let's turn them around like this. And this is cool because the wires are already marked. So,
Are they?
yeah.
This one says number 5 and that one says number 3.
Yeah, well, I wanted to say number 1. Like was this replaced at one time? Oh, it sure was.
Packard.
This one says Packard, and this one says AC Delco?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Why they changed just one?
Wait a minute, there is a number 1 on that. I have no, oh no, there, it says AC Delco on it. It's a Delco Packard, I don't know. Alright, so our coil is already marked. 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6. So we're going to go ahead and put those on. 3 and 5. 5 there. Alright, so it's going to go around. This is going to hook into there, and then we're going to go around to there. Alright, so you know what we're going to do? Matter of fact, let's get our other wires, and they are going to hook. We got this little opening right here that plugs into there, like that. And it looks like this is going to be around now. So we're going to leave that alone because that's probably not being there. We're going to bring it around to here. We got to take this bolt out to put that clip right there. And then our wires are going to hang over here. Wait a minute, we got something else too. So why did I take the bolt out of there and leave it out?
Maybe there's something else with it. Like something on top of that.
Sure don't look like it. Unless it wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's possible with this place. Alright, I know, because I know this bolt goes to the well, dipstick. Yeah. So unless this one goes right here, unless it goes right there. No, because this one bracket goes right here, so it would go over there. Alright, so we're going to get a bolt for that. Unless there's somewhere else, I doubt if anything else is there. Alright, so let's get our spark plugs. So we're going to install our spark plugs. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, let's get our spark plugs installed. These are the spark plugs that we got. We got laser iridium, NGKs. Even though NGK says don't use any anti-seize on them, we're going to use it. I don't care what they say. These things seize up inside the head. They're not covering anything. Alright, I'm going to use a 3/8 hose. I like to use that to install them. And what we're going to do is get some anti-seize. And we're only going to show you one plug. I'm going to sit here and show you all 6. Get some anti-seize. Place a little bit on the threads, just like that. Bring it over to your engine. And what you would do is just use that, just like bolts. You want to put it in by a couple threads, by hand, just so it don't cross thread. Pull the hose off. Grab your spark plug socket, 5/8 or 16mm, 6-inch 3/8 drive extension, and my 3/8 drive ratchet. And you want to tighten them up so they stop, and then a little bit more. That's it, and that is ready. Alright, let's get the rest of the 5 done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we was kind of figuring out like what the heck happened with the bolt here, because usually, you know, our thing is we put a bolt back when we take it out, and you could definitely see the markings on the cylinder head that this was right here. But this is the weird part. We went back on the video and saw that these two, they actually had these two bolted together. So that was wrong. So I got 2 bolts. I took the one out of here, and I got 2 ones with bigger washer heads on them. So we're not going to put that one in yet. So let's bring this one around here. Boy, man. Let's start that right there. So this one I'm not gonna put in yet because it's got a little O-ring here. I don't know whether that O-ring looks good. But you know what? Let's go find and see if we can get a new O-ring to go on this. That's all I need for the leak out of there. It looks like they changed it. I don't know. Alright, let's go see if we got a new O-ring. Be right back. Alright, that's a new O-ring. That's the O-ring right there. This is a new one. Let's put this on. Now, I never really trust an O-ring just by itself when it comes to this, so I'll just take me some gasket maker and put a thin layer around it. That'll help it seal. Okay, and it goes into the block down there. Okay, line the hole up and just twist it back and forth and push that down into place. Good. Alright, let's get our new bolt. Dang, this thing is like... Okay, let's get our 13mm deep socket and tighten up both bolts. Now what we're going to do is plug our spark plug wires up, and again these are numbered. This side right now we're on the left side, so these cylinders are 2, 4, 6. So just gonna, I don't know, do that, man. Give me some numbers here. Well,
2. This one's number 2.
Tell me what it is.
It's number 2.
Okay, number 2. Fine. Number 2. And I think I saw a 4 on this one.
Yes, because the other one's 6.
Alright, let's get the other side done and we'll be right back. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is install this water outlet. We've got to put a new O-ring on it. But as you can see, there's supposed to be a little screw right here on the top to bleed that. It looks like that's just broken off. So this sucks. We can still try to bleed it, but let's get this. No, first of all, let's take our O-ring off of here. Let's take our O-ring off of here. All right. And right there a little bit. Put our new O-ring on it. Okay, take our bolt out of here. And this is a good time. Maybe take a little antifreeze or something and just put it around there and just push that in there just to help with the install. So let me get a little antifreeze. Be right back. Alright, put a little antifreeze around there and set that up. Twist that back and forth and push it down. Let's put our bolt in there. Start off by a couple threads. And let's get that tightened up. And that is a 5/16 or 8mm. Alright, let's tighten that up and we'll be right back. Alright, we're on this side, guys. Here's our hose that goes to our air cleaner. And we notice it goes right up here and hooks on this little clip right there. Okay, that's in place. The next thing we're going to do, what do we got? We got to somehow, there's a wiring harness goes here somewhere. I don't know what that. Could be that right there. Yeah, that looks good. Whatever plugs in goes right there. Let's just hook that in. A little slot to it. Cool. Alright, now we got our alternator bracket / engine pull bar also. So this thing Goes out like that. And you got our tensioner, belt tensioner here that mounts here. You got the 2 bolts here. So they line up just like this. Then goes up against the engine. Just like that. Start them off by a couple threads. Okay, and then we got this one over here. Start that off by a couple threads. Alright, let's get our 15mm deep. And we're going to be using our cordless impact. And let's tighten those 3 bolts up. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing we're going to do, we're almost ready to install this engine. I'm going to take this bolt out. We're not going to put the harmonic balancer on because I just want to make sure we have enough space to go down in there. So we got everything apart, everything is ready. Everything is ready. The next thing we got to do is put on our flywheel, but we got to put it on the engine hoist, and we got to put on our brand new rear main seal. You definitely want to pay attention to how we put the rear main seal in. Alright, so let's get our chain hooked up and get it on the engine hoist, and we are ready to install. We'll be right back. Alright, we got our chain hooked up. It's kind of crooked because of the way it is right here. But let's give a little tension on it. Okay. Let's give it. Alright, let's get this off and we'll be right back. Alright, got one more bolt. Yeah, buddy. Alright, I'm going to get this out of the way. And now, let's jack this up a little bit. And let's get ready to install. You know, before we install our rear main seal, we got a little gasket maker inside there. Let's just trim that off. Alright, let's go get our rear main seal and we'll be right back. Alright, now on your rear main seal, be very careful. There are 2 different kind of seals. And here are your part numbers for each one. Hopefully it's the one with the bigger box, because if not, they got a tool here, and I think the tool's like $100 something, close to $200 for the installation tool for that thing, because you have to, these seals, you can't just put it up there and knock it on, because the flap has to be facing a certain way to stop the oil coming out of there. Now the difference on the 2, this one will have a spring on the inside. Now, whether you can use this or not, I don't know. I honestly don't know. This one comes with the installation tool, and there is no spring on the inside. That's how you're going to tell the difference of the 2. So, now this is cool because, as I said, that lip inside there is facing inward. So if you was to if you had this off and tried to install that, when you install it, that lip would flip out, either all of it or some of it, and you will definitely have a leak, and you got to pull this engine or pull the transmission out to fix that problem. So this tool keeps the lip facing the right way, like it's supposed to. You put this over the crank like that, and you just push the seal right over and install it into there. And I'm trying not to use my hammer yet, I'm gonna have to. And I'm gonna use my brass hammer, and I got down here more in than up here, so go around, install it flush. So right now it's on. And now what I want to do is I'm feeling around. Now I'm going to do is grab my 6-inch extension, go to the big end, and just to go like that, just to make sure that it's flush. Once you have that flush, you take your tool and pull it out. Just to show you that it is all there. Like, Tim, you got another piece in there. Just like that. It sucks. I should have took my time to reuse this, but it isn't that bad. And that's how you have it, guys. You gotta do that. Very important, guys, or this thing will leak. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do, let's get our flywheel. Because you dropped this in here without putting the flywheel in, that would suck. Alright, let's go get our flywheel and we'll be right back. Alright, we got our flywheel and we got a little spacer here. Honestly, I'm not sure what the spacer is for. If I had to guess, I would say because the bolts, without the spacer, the bolts will go in and bottom out against the crank, and this wouldn't be tight. That's what I would say. But I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, so let's get our flywheel goes first, and these holes can only be lined up one way. So what I like to do, you got this little opening here. That's not a bolt hole. You line it up with that right there on the flywheel, and everything should line up. Then you get your spacer and put that in there. Okay, let's get one of the bolts. Start them off by a couple threads, and let's get the other ones in and start them off by a couple threads. We'll be right back. All right, let's get these tightened up. We got a 17mm half-inch drive socket, and I got my cordless impact. This thing tightens up really tight, so you might not want to use this. Or if you use this, what you want to do, this one's got settings 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna set it on setting number 2, and then go ahead and tighten them up in a cross pattern. Yeah, buddy. Alright, let me see something. Oh, I got the spark plugs in it. I can't. I'm about to say I should be able to turn this by hand, but oh, cool! Look at that. This is just gonna be sweet. Oh man. Alright. Look, somebody had to market trans. I let them know that this is the trans side. Little do they know, if you try to bolt it on the other way, you see how the flywheel's made, like it indents into there. If you try to bolt it on the other way, it's going to hit right up against the block. And you're not going to be able to tighten up the bolts. But, hey, that's the shot we were dealing with. Alright, guys, we're ready for the big one. We're ready for install. Alright, this part coming up is super important, because if you mess up this part, or if you miss this part, you will be pulling this out again. So I'll meet you over at the vehicle. Right back.